The night she asked the question was already heavy with unspoken things. Rain pressed against the windows like it wanted to come inside and listen, and the power had gone out an hour earlier, leaving the apartment wrapped in candlelight and shadows. I had just finished spreading an extra blanket on the couch when she stood in the doorway, arms folded, eyes uncertain but brave. Her voice was quiet, almost lost in the storm, when she said, "Is there space left in your bed?" It wasn't a flirtation, not really. It was a question stitched together from fear, exhaustion, and the loneliness of someone who had run out of places to feel safe. Something in my chest tightened because I knew this moment mattered more than it seemed. I could joke, deflect, make it smaller. Instead, the words came out before I could stop them, honest and trembling. "What if you said you wanted to stay forever?" The air between us changed, as if the room itself leaned in to hear her answer, and in that silence I realized this wasn't about a bed at all. It was about whether two broken timelines could risk becoming one. We had known each other for years, long enough to recognize each other's footsteps in a crowd, but not long enough to be certain of anything else. She had come to stay for a few days, after her life cracked open in ways she never talked about directly. I filled in the gaps by noticing the way she startled at raised voices on television, the way she checked her phone and then turned it face down as if it had betrayed her. That first night, when she sat on the edge of the bed, she didn't touch me. She just breathed, slow and careful, like someone learning a new language. I lay beside her with a respectful distance between us, staring at the ceiling, wondering if wanting her to stay forever was selfish or brave. Sleep came in fragments, but so did something else, an unfamiliar calm, the sense that I wasn't alone in the dark anymore. Over the next days, the apartment filled with small shared rituals. Morning tea, quiet laughter over burned toast, long walks where neither of us felt pressured to explain ourselves. Yet the challenge hovered, unspoken but real. She was afraid of depending on anyone again, and I was afraid that wanting too much would send her running. One evening, she finally said it out loud, her voice cracking as she admitted she didn't know how to belong anywhere anymore. I didn't rush to fix it. I told her I didn't need promises, just honesty, and that staying didn't have to mean being trapped. The relief on her face was answer enough. By the end of that first chapter of us, she chose to stay another week, then another, not because she was asked, but because she felt seen without being owned. The storm outside eventually passed, but something quieter and stronger had taken its place inside us. Weeks later, the question returned in a different form. Life, impatient as ever, started knocking again. She got an offer to move cities, a chance to start fresh, and suddenly the apartment felt smaller, full of ticking clocks. On the night before her decision was due, we sat on the floor, backs against the bed, sharing memories like fragile glass. She asked me if I would be okay if she left, and for the first time I didn't pretend strength I didn't have. I told her the truth, that I would survive, but that she mattered more to me than comfort ever had. That's when she surprised me. She turned, eyes steady now, and said the words I hadn't dared to hope for. She said she was tired of running toward fresh starts that all ended the same way. She asked if forever could be something you built slowly, with patience and fear and forgiveness, instead of something you promised dramatically in the dark. My answer wasn't grand. I told her forever didn't scare me if it meant choosing each other every day, even on the boring ones. The challenge then became real life, not just feelings, learning how to argue without hurting, how to give space without creating distance, how to let love be both gentle and strong. We stumbled. We learned. She stayed. The last night of this story doesn't end with fireworks or perfect certainty. It ends quietly, with her asleep beside me, the same rain returning to the windows months later. I watched her breathe and thought about that first question, about how close we came to misunderstanding what we were really asking for. There was still space left in the bed, yes, but more importantly, there was space in our lives, for growth, for mistakes, for a future neither of us could fully see yet. I understood then that forever isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a direction you choose. And sometimes, all it takes to change everything is the courage to answer a simple question with an honest one of your own.